Hello, everybody. Whoa, that last interview was something else. First time being without Dermot. It was nerve-wracking. I'm so used to having him there. It just felt very, very strange. So hopefully this one will go a lot better. Uh, and I won't be trying to avoid jumping around so much from one subject to another, like I did in the last one. So, first of all, again, thanking Dermot. Hopefully I can do better on this video. So where were we? Now, for anybody who wants to know where the Gabriel, as an Archangel Gabriel, comes from, I would recommend that you go back and have a look at videos 1, 2, and 3 of Dermot Kelly and William O'Leary. I give my life's history there, beginning as a young boy, very young boy. So, and that's the lead up into the point where I am right now. And all the things that happened to me in between. And yes, it's true. That is who I am. I am Gabriel. Don't look like it, I know, but that's by design, entirely by design. We cannot interfere with free will, but we do help in other ways, usually behind the scenes. And any help we are able to give, we do give. Sometimes it's very, very unseen. But yeah, it's true. There's a little story that I want to tell about that, which I had not told before. And when I first discovered that, I was told who I was. I just, that's a bit far stretched, even for me. So I said, I'm going to need proof. I want proof. And I checked, and everything I asked for proof to be shown to me was shown to me, one way or another. It even got to the stage where I have some tarot decks in the house, and my granddaughter likes to take these out every now and again, open them up, and play with them. And she likes to play with them. So one of these decks is an angel deck. So I sat down on the couch and I saw that she had been playing with the decks previous to that. I had gone off, like all children, didn't bother putting the cards away. So I saw that the angel deck was right next to me on the couch. So I said, I wonder, will I really push the board out? I opened the deck out, shuffled it, give it a good shuffle, put them down. I'm really, really pushing the board out here. I said, a full deck of tarot cards. I wonder what I pull. I said, I'll pull one card and one card only. And if that wasn't correct, if that didn't prove it, that was it. I was finished. Find that this is it. And this is the card that came out. The only card that I put. So Archangel Gabriel, the only card that came out. So I said, hands up, okay, it's true that. So one card out of a full deck. So I know tarot card is, well, that was your consciousness pulling in all that. My consciousness, then it must be correct. I pulled a card. I don't know. I don't go into these decks all that much. Very seldom. But that's what happened. You just pull one card, and that's it. I'm only, look, At this stage, like it's well over 100 tests I pushed. I really pushed for tests. I tested, tested, and tested, and tested, and tested. So I didn't accept that load of who I was very easily because it is a big load. So, and this is why I waited until now, where I was mature enough to be able to cater for it. Now, how it came into being, and all the rest of it, how I came here, and when I came here, and William and all of that, I covered that in previous videos. So go to Dermot Kelly and William O'Leary and have a look back on these videos where I explain everything. How it actually happened in the end when Gabriel came in. I am Gabriel, both I'm William. Look back there, and I gave the history. I can do things that very few people can do. But it's taken me this long to be able to hold the vibration of Gabriel as Gabriel here, mature enough not to go gaga with who I am and able to accept it finally and be able to cope with it and not have it drive me around the bend, go la la land. So it's taken this long for things to transpire. Now I came in here, Gabriel came in here at this point in time, like he did before, and crucial points on time, and this is the end times. So if I don't come in to help, humanity certainly needs the help, all the help they can get, because it's taking an awful long time to wake up, an awful long time to get there. I remember a dream I had one time where I'd been in some kind of celebration. It was a big ballroom type setting. I had big picture windows on one side, and everybody, it was a rather crowded room, so everybody was out dancing to the music. And I was looking out the window, and in the distance there was kind of rolling hills. And I was looking at the hills, and I noticed there was a big movement, what I took to be people moving down. And I quickly discovered that this was a type of, if you want, I figured this was people. I had this had to be people, or an army of some type. So I said, they're heading here. I started shouting at the people, come over and look, come over and look. It's coming, it's coming, they're coming. No, didn't take a blind bit of notice. So I started calling all the more. Then this big, tall dude, I mean, he was tall, muscular, towering over everybody else, shouted over at me, over the crowd's head. You get out. They don't want to know. And that hit me. They don't want to know. Last year, I was in the men's shed, and I hadn't been in there a while, so I went back in. And yeah, last year. And they were all sitting there. And no, not last year, it was 2 years ago. I started telling them about what was going on in the world. And eventually one of them just sat down in the chair and he says, we don't want to know. And at that point, I remembered the dream. Well, I was told they don't want to know. That's how strong. So you see the difficulty. You don't want to quoted you the law 1 in the last video, and it says, the greater majority of people will repeat 3D. And I've known that. I didn't have to read the law 1 to understand that. I spoke about this years ago. I was one of the first to speak about it. I actually give a number. And I haven't changed my mind about that number. But I've got to try and convince people to get their act together. Even the people who say they're awake are not entirely awake. You need to have a good look at yourself. I will speak about raising your vibrations. I might even do it in the next video on ways and means to increase your vibrations. Not just to increase them, but to keep them increased without falling back down. That's the key. You raise them, they stay raised. They don't go up and down like a graph. You're always elevated. Video before last, I explained how you're all different bodies. Your etheric bodies, your astral bodies. There you can see there's one here. All of these different colors. These are all your bodies that you have now. This this aura of body here is your fourth dimension body. You've got to go into that. You can't go from this. This black line here is your fourth dimensional body. But you can't go from that out into fifth dimension and jump over your fourth. You got to go through the fourth. But you already have it. It just needs for you to activate it, to step into it, and stay there. Don't be flicking backwards and forwards. Because in a way you're going to slip up. Now, these are odds that correspond with your chakras. Got 7 chakras. Got 7 bodies. Now here is the last. What is that? The mental. I think it's the mental. Forgive me now if I got that name wrong. Before you go back to creator. So don't be fooled by people telling you we're going into fifth. Get out of 3D first. Now, I have noticed recently that all of these, let's say, there's lots and lots of people in YouTube and doing all these videos and turning up and making a huge name for themselves. And they're preaching, suddenly they're all preaching gospel, quoting the Bible. But look, and any really big ones there will certainly have a preacher showing up with them, proclaiming God and the Bible and all that. Okay, these people are coming to the fore. There's a lot more people out there doing the same thing, preaching religion. Religion is a control mechanism, and always has been. It was designed that way. So if you look at it, what's happening on the political scene, you've got all of these, I don't want to use the word freaks, religious freaks, Bible freaks, who will use the name of God whenever possible and the name of Jesus. Yeshua, my brother. Just like that, boom, we got them. And they call everyone demons. And these are all demonic, they're demons, they're demonic. I'd like to ask each and every one of them, did they ever look a demon in the eye? Because if they did, they wouldn't be so quick to use the word. Are so free to use that word about people they've never met and don't know. Before you call someone demonic or a demon, be sure you have facts. Know what a demon actually is and what a demon looks like when you look at it. And you're not afraid to look at it. And you look at it in the eye and stare it down. That's a test for you. And then you'll know what demons really are. But you need to experience it before you start accusing people of being demons when you haven't got it foggy yourself. Very careful with the word you use that they don't come back on you. So, yeah, on the religious side of it, you've got all these people suddenly preaching the word of God, and I believe in God and Jesus and the revelations and the Bible and all the rest of it. It's been quoted everywhere. Suddenly it's all the Bible and religious and God said to me. Now, this is all even Donald Trump is at it, suddenly invoking God's work and the name of God. Okay, but he's not as bad as a lot of other people. There's a guy out there now who's suddenly also gone deeply into it. He had called by number 107 or something. My God. You know, quoting religion. Okay, if you take all that scenario of all the people that suddenly quoting Bible and religion, and that they're usually on the political side of it, what happens when if the next presidential election, I said Trump runs again and gets in, brings in all of these people, all these people are suddenly in power again. They're in positions of power, of influence, not power, but of influence. And they're spouting Bible again. What has changed? Nothing. But back to where you started, religion is now controlling you now once again. But just come in the back door this time, and suddenly it's there, facing me. Religion, religion, religion. Nothing has changed. Someone stands up. I preach the Bible, and I believe in the Bible and all the rest of it. Be very, very careful of these people. Don't trust them. I wouldn't trust them as far as I throw them. Do not trust people who are suddenly spouting Bible and religion. And God said, there's also one or two people, God said to me, and he told me to do this and told me to do that. They don't know what God really is. I don't know who they're talking to, but it's certainly not God. Certainly not God. You've got to understand who and what God does. God does not interfere directly with the planet. You leave that entirely up to the guardians. And speaking of guardians, I was listening to Corey Good. I don't mind using his name. As I've been watching Corey Good now from the first day he appeared under a different name. So I've been watching him for quite a long time. And of late, he certainly started coming out about fallen angels. Fallen angels this and fallen angels that. Everything is suddenly the angels' fault. It's all angels' problem, the fallen angels. He was lumping everybody together. Okay? Angels, everything was a fallen angel. All angels are now suddenly bad. Until the last long video he did, the last full length. And he was talking about this other race of beings that was coming in, and he suddenly mentioned about the planet, and it was the archangels were guardians of the planet. That was the first thing he ever mentioned, good and proper. And I picked it up. The archangels are the guardians of the planet. I think I said that. I said it on the videos way back when. That's why they're called guardian angels. As well as looking after individuals, but the main task is looking after the earth. As given to them by the Creator. That responsibility was passed to them by the Creator via the Divine Spirit to the archangels, to the celestial beings, the angelic beings. The angelic beings are guardians, and it was they passed on the initial thought, if you want to put it that way, to the Syrians that I spoke about in the last video. And that was nearly 500,000 years ago. They put the initial idea from God, from my Father, the Creator, at whose request I am here. I'm here at my Father's request, through the Divine Spirit. So it's at His behest that I am here, telling you, giving you warning, people, not to accept everything blankly, even what I'm saying. Always check. Always check. If you say I'm not telling truth, then I have no business here and I should be here. And I'll pay for that. Me not telling the truth, I'm at far, far greater risk than any of you guys not telling the truth. And you can understand why. So, yeah, be careful of the religious freaks, especially if let's call them, the Republicans, it all gets into power. Watch all the religious freaks suddenly popping up to hold you back in, under control again. Nothing would have changed. It's just that the cycle will start all over again under religion. You need to break the cycle. Get away from the religion. Focus on your spiritual. Your spiritual is if you want a better word, your true religion. But don't even use the word religion when I'm around. So, your spiritual being using a body. That's who you are. You're the mirror, the observer, and the creator. Okay? So I hope that would deal with the Gabriel side of it for now, because that is who I am, really. It's up to you whether or not to accept it, as was the intention of why I came like this. And that's also the same why Jesus came like he did. Speaking of Jesus, Yeshua, he also spoke about the Son and what was coming. He was asked one time, when will the end come, Lord? And the reply was, you do not know when it is going, when the Son of Man is going to come. So always be prepared. No one knows but the Father when that's going to happen. When the Son appears. Now, which Son was he talking about? S-U-N? S-O-N. I'll leave that one up to you. I won't put my ideas out there into your head. It's from your own. But he gave lots of instances like that in parables. He always covered or used words in parables rather than straightforward speech, spoken parables. So he warned about the son that was coming. Nobody knows when it's going to come. But which son is he talking about? And he made a lot of passing references to that in various speeches he gave. So you need to make your own mind up what he was talking about. The flash is going to happen. Evolution cannot be stopped. Look at mankind. Mankind has hardly changed, has hardly evolved over all the years. It must evolve or dissolve. Evolution must happen. You cannot stay here in this carbon body and not change anything. You just go extinct. Evolution is a must. You must evolve. Cannot be stopped. Mankind is still the same person, same type of person. Maybe consciousness-wise is a bit smarter, but physically, I think it, hasn't changed a whole lot. It's changed very little. Not over the time span that man was created. Very little has changed. It has to change. There's no other option but to change. It's designed that way. It's designed that way. Must evolve. Otherwise, your DNA will just die out. It'll stop. DNA needs to evolve. Okay. So I want to tell you a little story that happened to me 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was out walking, my usual walk around, and this car drove by me. It was a white SUV. I happened to have a quick look at it and spotted a number plate. It was 222, the letter C, and 222. I said, oh, all twos. Now, that is pretty significant, especially to me. Now, the car pulled in to a parking area of a restaurant just ahead of me. So I walked in after it. It's a place I would normally go myself anyway, and I recognized the driver. So I walked over to him and I said, hello, Ray. I said, after getting a high-end automobile. I mean, this was high-end SUV, really, really high-end. So what caught my eye was not so much the car, I said, but the number plate. He looked at me and says, he says, there was someone came up to me not too long ago and says to me about that number plate. That is the number of the angels. I was looking at it. And I said, yes, it's true. I said, that is true. So he told me how he bought that particular number. He requested that if that number was available when it comes up, could he have that number for his car? So he had to pay for it, and he paid it and received the number plate. Now that same day I was speaking to my old friend Dermot, and I said, about having seen this car, I happen to know the owner and had to on it. So that evening, must be had been about 4 hours later, I opened up Facebook. Right? And there's these sponsored ads that come up on Facebook. and there was a white SUV. There was a car sales advert, big garage, and I had a white SUV on it, and I had two. Let us see, two. It was a different make of car, but there was the exact same number on the same colored car, same type of car, not the same make, but that's an SUV. I said, woof. Now, that's synchronicity. Or was it? Do you find synchronicities happy to you? Watch the synchronicities. There was a saying long ago, well, it was written long ago, that when your synchronicities start to happen like that, you think it, boom, there it is, with very, very little time in between. There is very, very little time left. That's how close you are to moving on. The quicker the manifestations happen, that tells you the amount of time that is left. And everybody is in agreement that manifestations are happening all over the place. Time is finishing. It must not, it may not. I should have warned. That's only Lord or God's will. No, it's not. We have to evolve. DNA is designed to evolve. If it doesn't evolve, it'll die. It'll fade away. It'll stop functioning. It'll no longer be of use. So you need to upgrade your DNA and move out of the carbon body into your fourth-dimensional body, which you already have. You have it with you. The earth become 4D to match your vibrations. Or your vibrations will become 4D to match the earth's vibrations. You have to go hand in hand. So, yeah, I actually found the correct quote that Jesus used when he was describing, when he was asked about when the end come. And what he actually said was, when Jesus was asked when the end will come, he says, "You know not the day nor the hour when the Son of Man shall arrive. Only the Father knows. So be prepared." How many times have I said that to you? Always be prepared. Always be prepared. Because nobody knows when that's going to happen. Now, watching the sun, rightly so, but it's not totally depending on the sun. The sun will be the catalyst. So, I just want to reply to a person on one of the videos who described in the comments, and she said she saw a UFO, a blazing UFO in the sky. And I'm thinking, okay, I've seen this one, but I've seen this at nighttime, not the day. It has been seen and reported it's seen in the daytime, but I saw it at night. I couldn't help but bloody well see it. It was still right in front of me, ablaze. It was like as if a skyscraper was on fire with flames coming out of it. Okay, completely covered in flames, but there was no smoke. It just what it looked like. Were they actually flames? I don't know, but that's how bright it was. And I've been looking at it for a few minutes, and it eventually, after a period of time, stayed in one position. Didn't go anywhere, didn't move. Or, I'm not talking about something that shot across the sky. This was stationary, and I was looking at it, and it was as bright as I have ever seen anything in the night sky. And eventually it just got smaller and smaller and blinked out. Now, Harriet McCabe, Harriet McCabe O'Hanlon, she saw the same UFO. And I'm acknowledging that. I meant to get back to her on it. So that UFO is the same one that I saw. Didn't know, I knew it was a UFO of some type, but I've never seen anything like it. But that's just one of the many, many UFOs I have seen. So they are around, they are real. Whether they want to acknowledge it or not, they're there. And which leads me to tell you again about the dream I had where I was taken by, not taken is the wrong word. They said I was going to go, and I agreed. I would go on a trip. You know, the guy that was saying it to me, and he sided up to me, and he says, I shouldn't be telling you this, he says, but you're going for a trip. And I said, well, what kind of trip? And he went, and I said, whoa, that's interesting. Okay. And as soon as I said, okay, whoosh, I was gone. And I went through, describe how I went through this. I felt like a cobweb going all over me, but now I know. I eventually know what that was. I went through time. I went through dimensions. I went to another dimension. I didn't know at the time. I always thought I went through. Didn't know what it was really, but it came to me not too long ago. I went to a different dimension, and I felt it. And that was 1991. 2019. That was. And early 2019. But I remember that trip. And I was sitting in, to know what the bloody hell I was sitting in. Because I looked around, I couldn't see nothing. All I knew is that we were flying through space. There was no ship structure around me. I was sitting down. Chap who said to me, you're going for the trip. I said, okay. So he was sitting next to me, and I noticed there was others sitting behind me. So I turned around eventually, and I said, oh, hello. One of them was a female. Of course, I said hello. She wasn't human. But, you know, I knew looking at her, our skin wasn't quite human. She looked entirely human otherwise. Short military style hair. It was she had a black uniform on, or maybe a very dark blue, navy blue. I think this is navy blue. With a high neck on it. And I said, oh, hello. My name is William. I'm not George. I just went, boop. She put out her hand and shook it, and she was staring at me in amazement. And I went to, well, yeah, and I asked him, I said, where are you from? He says, I'm from Sirius. No, folks, I'm not into this, this craze that people have. Oh, I'm Palladian this and etc. And I'm Andromeda. I've never accepted any of that. I said, all of us would step. I was never into it because it didn't click with me. I couldn't associate myself with any of that. But when he said Syrian, and I said, oh, where am I? Am I Syrian? And he went, yeah. What kind of a stupid question is that? I said, oh, okay. It's as good as any other one. Well, I hadn't heard much about Syrians. Syrians to me at the time was very, very seldom spoken about. Syrians. I heard the Palladian and Andromedans and etc., but very, very little about Syrians. So I said, yeah, okay. I was taking, anyway, this other place that we went to, there was, as we were suddenly zooming along very close to this, let's say, call it a planet, going along. I assume now it's Sirius. And I saw children playing, small little children. And they were all playing around the tree, going up and down, but they had wings. You know, like about the same size as these cherubs, you know, with the bow and arrow. Bing. You know, they have the fluttered wings in the back. They actually look like them. I said, look at them. They've got wings. Yes, I see, but they will lose them after a while. And that always puzzled me. I said, why would they lose their wings? Eventually, the thought was given to me. When their mind develops and what they're capable of doing, they don't need wings to do any of that. They can do it by thought. Syrians can do that. All highly evolved beings can do it. Do you want to go someplace? Just think it. There you are. Don't need wings. Anyway, so I was going to talk about a whole lot. I wonder what I do the vibration. No, I'll shut down there. Again, to anybody that's new to these videos, I thank you for looking in. Go back and look at all the videos that myself and Dermot Kelly did. And nearly all of the videos I give out information. Information that you would not have heard before. It may have turned up since, but at the time it was I was giving out information that was not available to anybody else. Right, I think that'll be it for today. I will hopefully do another video quite soon. And I hope you enjoyed this one. I think the last video was, it was all over the place. It was, despite doing the 20-odd videos with Dermot, I was as hell doing that video. Yeah, and I was glad it was over. I hope this one, in this video, I'm more settled down and getting used to not bouncing off of Dermot. If we pardon the pun. So, right, I'll call a halt with this. So, and hopefully I'll catch you again fairly soon.